रहे सारे दर्शकों को बहुत ही प्यार भरी सत श्री अकाल, नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग। मैं हाँ तुहाडा अपना मनन गुप्ता जी। हाँ तुसीं जुड़ चुके हो अज की चर्चा प्रोग्राम के नाल। सोमवार का दिन है, नवे हफ्ते की शुरुआत हुई है। आम तौर पर रूटीन के इस प्रोग्राम को होस्ट करते हैं चरणजीत बराड़ जी, लेकिन अज असी उन्होंने तो प्रोग्राम एक दिन लिए उधारी लिता है और खास अज के प्रोग्राम में चर्चा करांगे साडे जिहड़ी कम्यूनिटी दे विच, साडे जिहड़े इंडस्ट्री दे विच जिहड़े इशूज़ ने उहदी तुहाडे नाल गंभीर और जिहड़े मुद्दे ने या जिहड़े इशूज़ ने उन्हां दी चर्चा करांगे और काफ़ी सारी तुहाडे लई रोचक जानकारी लैके आवांगे। प्रोग्राम में तुसीं इसी तरह देखते रहना क्योंकि साडी अज दा जिहड़ा टॉपिक है वह है ट्रकिंग और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इंडस्ट्री दे विच जिहड़ियां चेंजिस आ रही ने, जिहड़ियां नवे रूल्स एंड रेगूलेशनस आ रहे हैं और किहड़े-किहड़े मुद्दे ने जो कि साडी कम्यूनिटी नूं इंपैक्ट कर रहे हैं। सो इस चर्चा दे विच साडे नाल जुड़नगे एक जाने पहचाने नाम, खास करके पंजाब टैलीविजन दे उत्ते तुसीं उन्हां नूं बहुत बार सुनदे हो, उन्हां दी बड़ियां वधिया इनपुट हुंदी है और मेरी मुराद है राज वालिया जी जो कि ट्रक सोल्यूशंस और ट्रक अकैडमी के सीईओ ने। राज जी बहुत बहुत स्वागत अज की चर्चा में।
सत श्री अकाल मनन जी, सारे श्रोतियों दर्शकों को प्यार भरी सत श्री अकाल।
सत श्री अकाल जी। और तुहाडा अपना शो है, तुहाडा अपना चैनल है, सो राज जी का निघा स्वागत। और इस मौके पर साडे एक होर खास मेहमान इस कारण भी ने क्योंकि वो पहली बार पंजाब के स्टूडियो में आए ने एंड आई टेक दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी टू वेलकम माई very well-known industry friend, mentor, and a well-known face of the industry, Kim Richardson. Kim, welcome to Punjab Television.
Thank you for having me, Manan. Raj.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have industry professionals, the leading lights of the industry, come to the studio. When they come, they bring a lot of new perspective, lot of insight, and a lot of rich experience to share with. So we are very pleased that you are here in the studio. You have traveled all the way from Caledonia. Most of our viewers, they have heard of Caledonia. They are, trying to buy new homes over there. As you know, in the last few years, there have been new subdivisions which have opened up in Caledonia.
Yes.
So maybe we'll start with Caledonia first. So tell us what is unique in Caledonia.
Well, I'm a fourth generation Caledonian.
Right.
The Grand River runs through Caledonia. It's a beautiful community.
Right.
My great granddad was a settler.
Right.
My grandfather raised 16 children.
Wow.
In our community and had a lot of property where he did farming and worked at the drywall plant, the gyp plant in town, and it's a great community. When I was a young guy growing up, I can remember the sign that said 2,000, population 2,000.
Right.
And I think now we're probably hovering between 10 and 12,000 and about to get more people.
So, well, very soon it will be in multiple thousands because a lot of newcomers, new Canadians are embracing Caledonia, and it's a beautiful place. I've been there so many times. I've been to your residence, your professional institution over there. So it is always good.
Thank you, Manan. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. Raj ji, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਕਿਮ ਰਿਚਰਡਸਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੱਦਾ ਪੱਤਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ, ਸੋ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਦੱਸੋ ਇਹਦਾ ਬੈਕਗ੍ਰਾਉਂਡ ਐਂਡ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਟਲੀ ਦ ਫੋਕਸ ਆਫ।
जी मनन जी, अपना काफ़ी ही समय तो अपन फोन कॉल्स वगैरह काफ़ी आ रही सीगियां कि जो मेल्ट प्रोग्राम हैगा मिनिमम एंट्री लैवल ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम तो TTSAO की की भूमिका हैगी है तो वो बारे जानन काफ़ी सवाल आते सीगे तो कुछ एक फ़ोन भी आए कि उन्होंने दरखास्त की कि प्लीज़ जो उन्होंने चेयरमैन साहब है उन्होंने नाल लैके आओ। सो आफ्टर very long pursuit, Kim got a chance and thanks Kim for coming and accepting the request and sharing your information and knowledge to our community.
Absolutely. मैं दसवां दर्शकों ਨੂੰ कि Kim Richardson, he is the chairperson of TTSAO, Truck Training Schools Association of Ontario, और बड़ी ਵੱਡੀ ਇੱਕ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਫਾਰਮਲ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਡਰਾਈਵਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਜੁਲਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੋਰਸਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਹੈ, ਐਸੋਸੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ। So he is the chair of that and definitely along with that he is also running a truck driving academy school in Caledonia from the last 30 years, Kim, if I'm not mistaken.
30 years
more than 30 years.
Yeah.
And he also is the co-founder of Transrep, which is a business, I must say, helping out trucking industry in different kind of marketing streams. So you wear a lot of hats. Yes. And another hat which I can very proudly vouch for myself is that you are a big advocate for a safer industry. Whether we talk about apprenticeship issues, whether we talk about the speed limiters issue or this MELT program, you have been front and in the limelight, making industry aware and making the lawmakers aware of the issues. So we must thank you and applaud you for your efforts.
Thank you, Manan.
So but tell us about TTSAO, the organization which you are chairing. What does it do and what kind of membership does it have?
Certainly. So the TTSAO, basically we represent the truck training schools of Ontario. And we do have a pretty stringent criteria for schools to become members.
Okay.
They must be registered and approved to meet the minimum standards set by, which is now called MAESD, which is the old Ministry of Training Colleges and Universities.
Right.
That's recently been changed, but you must meet that criteria in order to become a full member, which Raj recently, I think within the last 6 months, became a full member of the association. So congratulations and
thank you, Kim.
Welcome on board.
Thank you.
I think you'll see some great value.
That's right.
I think one of the biggest things that the association does, that I've gotten from the association, even from the foundational stages when we founded the organization in 1997, I guess it was the opportunity to network and share ideas. You know, we can always learn from each other, and I've always said that we should be learning every day. So the association has that component, the education side, the network side. There's been a tremendous amount of growth the last year and a half. I think that the association has really put a stake in the ground as to who they are and what they represent. A number of carriers are getting involved. The TTSAO carrier group was formed. And then there's associate members who offer services to the industry.
As suppliers or...
I like that.
So it's very, very diverse group. We've had a couple of conferences now under our belt, which Manan, you attended. Thank you so much for your support and your advertising and everything you do for the industry as well.
Well, definitely those conferences were well attended, and you have done 2 of them so far, and quite, I must say, extensive information, treasure of information was shared there. So kudos to TTSAO and the entire sponsorship panel as well for coming on board. You mentioned that TTSAO has been in existence since 1997, which is pretty long time. You're almost completing 20 years this year. So congrats to the TTSAO founding members. So is this membership open to all truck driving schools, like all across Ontario, or where are your more memberships currently placed out of?
Okay, so our membership encompasses the entire province. Okay. We have schools in Windsor to Thunder Bay to the Niagara Peninsula. Don't hold me to these numbers, but I think we have 28 schools in 38 locations, which represents well over 90% of the industry in the province of registered schools. And of course, our goal is to get rid of the fly-by-night in the non-registered schools. We call them the $1,000 programs.
The licensing mills.
The licensing mills. Thank you. The ministry don't like that term, but it is what it is.
Absolutely.
And
sometimes you have to live with those terms. You can't run away from those.
That's right.
Exactly, and it's about quality, right?
And basically, they are actually focusing only on getting the license. There is no know-how. There is no professionalism. Their focus is just how to get a license instead of how to drive a truck and being safe on the roads and highways.
And how to become employed.
Yes.
And I'm going to say the good schools, because that's what they are. The good schools just don't teach people how to drive a truck. They teach people about the industry, and they teach people about job preparation and what type of carrier they should go to work for, because not everybody's cut out to go long haul. So why put someone in that position if they're going to fail? So there's much more to the education process than just shifting gears or turning corners.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll talk about the MELT program, which is definitely coming ahead, being implemented on 1st of July. But before that, I'll ask a couple of things to Raji. Raji, you started your career in trucking industry as a safety and compliance services, provider, which you still do, under the banner of Trux Solutions. Recently, last year, you ventured into truck driver training under the name of Trukademy. A beautiful name, a beautiful organization, and very focused, motives, objectives are there. So why was this, how did you decide to launch this new vertical?
As you mentioned, we've been in compliance for last 15 years or so, helping transportation industry with the compliance issues and safety issues. After working for such a long time, there was a big vacuum which South Asian transportation industry was really suffering from, is drivers, entry-level driver trainings, right? So the drivers, when they walk in, there's a acute shortage of our drivers, which Kim also agreed to. So what happened is when there was an acute shortage of drivers, and drivers just come with the bare minimum skills, and industry suffers with the insurance companies. The insurance company don't hire them, or sometimes the driver get abused, right?
Abused in the way like they don't get paid in time.
They don't get paid in time, or they have been given flat salaries to cover up a certain amount of loads, or working overtimes and extended amount of hours, all those kind of things. So every time you represent to the insurance companies or carriers, you see that gap in the industry. So it's been for a long time that we wanted to come and do some sort of a contribution in that particular part, but we wanted to do everything in a right way. We had a plan a couple of years ago that we can start a school just like that and give our own programs. But I find out that's not going to meet with the standards. We have to do a right way. So Ministry of Training and Education earlier times.
Yeah.
So we gave an application there, get approval for the courses, and then become a part of TTSAO.
Right.
And
Really?
and that's how we enter into this.
So congrats on another vertical. And Kim, he mentioned he saw the gap. He saw those unfortunate conditions being forced upon newcomers, because newcomers are the ones which are really driving trucking industry these days. You could see from your 35 years plus experience in trucking, the new wave of immigrants, they are the ones who are being motivated to join the industry, and they are doing wonders.
Yeah, they are being motivated, but at the same time, and I have to agree with Raj, they're abused in some sense because they're not educated properly,
right?
And they don't know the right questions to ask when they come to a school like KRTS or Trukademy.
Yeah.
And they ask 3 questions. They ask how much, how long, and when's my test?
Right.
Well, if we have less than adequate businesses preying on these clients, the how much is an easy question. It's going to be cheap, right? How long? It's going to be a short period of time because they're not going to get the proper training.
Sure. Yeah.
And when's my test? That's a poor question as well. The biggest question that new entry-level drivers should be asking is, what type of carrier do you deal with as a school?
Right.
And what's your placement ratio? More importantly, the carriers that your students go to, what's the retention?
Retention, yes.
At those carriers.
Yeah.
And I think equally as important is making sure that the students get the right fit with the right carrier out of the gate. Like I said earlier on, if you've got a young man who's got a young family, to put him on the road for 7 to 10 days, probably is not going to work in a lot of situations. They should maybe start out local, but that's an investment of time. At KRTS, we're very proud that we turn away approximately 30% of the people that come in that want to take the course.
Okay.
And we're very proud of that. Now, they end up going somewhere, and it's generally a licensing mill. We've seen over the years where we've actually created, I don't want to call it a side business, but other business opportunities by people going to the wrong schools.
Okay.
Because what will happen is they'll go to the wrong school, a licensing mill, and then they'll go to get a job and they can't get work, and then they do talk to a good carrier, and the carrier will say, well,
go back.
Circle around and go to a good school. Go to a good school like KRTS that has years of knowledge and experience. They're not just only going to help you get your license, they're going to help you with your career.
Yes.
And long-term sustainable career, because we don't want these people getting into the industry and going back. I always say going back to stamping widgets.
Yes.
We want to keep them.
Yes, that is very important. You pointed out a very important term, retention.
Yes.
Hiring is one part, but then to retain them, to retain your workforce so that they can succeed, they can contribute to the economy, they can contribute to the success of that particular trucking fleet, that is very important. And that is where professional training from institutions like Trukademy, KRTS, or other members of TTSAO, they play a very vital role.
Yes, and we do a lot of consulting in the industry as well. Safety and compliance, we work with recruiting departments. Our programs over the 30 years have become very diverse into what we offer the customer base. And I remember being in a client's one time, we were working with the recruiting department. And the person answering the recruiting line, first of all, was not very nice.
Okay.
So we got a mirror so that they could see themselves and be happy when you answer the phone.
Okay.
And then the second thing we did, instead of saying XYZ Trucking Recruiting Department, how about saying XYZ Trucking recruiting and retention department.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Because you just don't want to recruit drivers, you want to recruit and retain them.
Yes.
And that sends a message.
Yeah.
So Raji, you know, like Kim mentioned, recruiting and retention. Do you see in the South Asian community, especially, you know, the clients which you are dealing with day in and day out, retention is a major challenge?
Retention is a major challenge in overall industry, but retention, human resource is an asset.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is an asset, and the success lies in the retention. Over a period of time, I have seen very closely the more the retention, less the collisions.
Right.
More profits are there.
Very
Right. You have a less work for the dispatch, less work for the safety and compliance, and the driver is happy, dispatchers are happy, and the owners are happy. Right. So retention is a key factor in any business. When it comes to the driving area, like drivers are very important. If they are driving on a certain lanes, and they know where to pick up, they know where to deliver, they know the time sensitivity, and they understand the company culture, and it's retention is very, very important. And in South Asian community, I have seen certain companies' retention is very good, but certain companies' retention is not really that much. But I've seen that the more you grow in the business, better understanding you will have for the retention, and you have to fix that issue sooner or later.
Right. I think with this new MELT program coming in, there will be a lot of changes in the industry, in the working style, in retention. It will raise the bar. So MELT ਜਿਹੜਾ program ਹੈਗਾ, ਮੈਂ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦਵਾਂ, mandatory entry level training, ਇਹਦਾ full form ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ MELT, ਔਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਪਿਛਲੇ 2-3 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੱਦੋ ਜਹਿਦ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਸੁਣੀ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਟੇਕ ਹੋਲਡਰਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੀਡਬੈਕ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਸਕੂਲਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੀਡਬੈਕ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਜੂਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਇੱਥੇ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਸਟੀਵਨ ਡੈਲ ਟਰੂਕਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਆਫ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੋਰਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੇ, ਹੀ ਕੇਮ ਟੂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਟੈਸਟ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਨਾਉਂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੂਨ ਦੇ ਐਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ, ਔਰ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਗ੍ਰੇਸ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ 1 ਜੁਲਾਈ 2017 ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਤੋਂ ਸਿਰਫ 3 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਲਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਔਰ ਉਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੀ ਘੁੰਡ ਚਕਾਈ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹਦੀ ਇੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਰੋਲ TTSAO ਔਰ ਕਿਮ ਰਿਚਰਡਸਨ ਔਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਸੀਗੇ ਐਡਵਾਈਜ਼ਰੀ ਬੋਰਡ ਤੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਹਿਮ ਰੋਲ ਅਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ। ਸੋ ਕਿਮ, ਡੈਫੀਨੇਟਲੀ you and your entire team of advisors at TTSAO and the stakeholders, they played a very important role, including PMTC, Ontario Trucking Association, and so many like-minded associations. Even media guys like us, we also provided our input because we were on the panel. So congratulations on that. So tell us in a brief overview, what does this MELT brings to the table? What kind of major changes can people see, those who are planning to look for entering into trucking sector as a professional AZ driver post July 1st?
I just want to back up a little bit about the media, Manan, because it was organizations like yourself, the Toronto Star, and other media groups who really brought the focus and the attention onto the issues that were out there on the highway and were happening every day. And until the public understood just how deep the issue was and how severe it was, we probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere without the media support.
Absolutely.
Because they helped push the government.
Especially the Toronto Star, and Toronto Star really played a, pivotal role. It was the backbone for this entire issue. And in Toronto Star, if you Google still now, you would find Kim Richardson and his school profile over there,
It was amazing when they first got a hold of the story. Mary Ormsby is
I met her
as an investigating reporter.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful lady. She was the first Canadian to get a full scholarship at Ohio State University for volleyball.
And when you meet her, you can't figure out she's an investigative journalist, I met her, on your recommendation, and she got all the inputs, all the insights. And she's so, down to earth.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
And, very truthful.
Very truthful.
And, I really commend the Toronto Star, because although there was lots of people putting their hand up in the air saying, we did this, we did that, it was really the Toronto Star.
Exactly.
Who got things moving for us and got the attention of the government. And then, of course, the stakeholders got on board. But as far as what MELT's going to do come July 1st, quite frankly, I think the jury's still out on what it's going to do. I don't want to sound like I'm a pessimist, because I'm not.
Right.
For me, man, and the glass is always half full.
Absolutely.
Very positive. But I really think that the ministry did a great job at making sure that all the stakeholders were included. I don't think there's any group, association, or organization who could say that they weren't invited to the table.
Very true.
So the input was good. I think there was over 25 stakeholder meetings that TTSAO had participation in, which we greatly respected. And by the end of the consultation sessions, they were actually calling us as an association, because I think that we really impressed them about our knowledge. I think we also impressed them with the ability to listen to their recommendations, and then to be heard from us maybe why those recommendations that they thought may work wouldn't work. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think the biggest factor that's going to be put into play is that people are going to have to produce a certificate from a school that has been authorized and approved before getting the road test.
Absolutely.
They've changed the test. We'll see what that does. I think they're going to have some hurdles to jump over there at Circle, but I'm going to stay on the positive side, and I'm going to say, you know what? We're heading in the right direction.
Absolutely, and you know, we all are heading in the right direction. और इस प्रोग्राम ਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਬੜੀ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਨਾਲ ਨੱਠਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੱਜ ਪਸੰਦ ਤੇ ਗੈਸਟ ਨੇ ਰਾਜ ਵਾਲੀਆ ਜੀ ਔਰ ਕਿਮ ਰਿਚਰਡਸਨ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ। ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਹੋਰ ਮੇਜਰ ਰੈਗੂਲੇਟਰੀ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਟਰਾਂਸਪੋਰਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਔਰ ਟਰੱਕਿੰਗ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਦੀਆਂ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਪੈਕਟ ਕਰਨਗੀਆਂ, ਉਹਦੀ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ। ਕਿਹੜੇ ਈਵੈਂਟਸ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸ਼ੋਜ਼ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਦੀ ਵੀ ਚਰਚਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਛੋਟੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਕਮਰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ, ਐਂਡ ਵੀਲ ਬੀ ਰਾਈਟ back on Punjab Television. Stay tuned.